Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show. Hey, what it do, people? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where I'm going to be talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode 2. It was a good one. They came out swinging last week, and it's still batter up. Where we left off is where we're going to start. But before we do that, let me give a little housekeeping. You know, if you could please hit that like button for me. Also, please hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't already. You can share this with some folks. Let them know what's going on over here because you know what? I am on my way to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. And leave a comment if you like. Let me know what you thought about the review and anything else you want to say to me. Again, thanks for tuning in. Now, where they left off was Dorit and Kyle going back and forth and back, like Aaliyah, okay? Oh, rest in peace, Aaliyah. Show was cut down in her prime, 21, 22 years old? I never forget, a tangent. I will never forget that day. I was getting ready for work, and it was right before 9/11 because she passed away like the last week of August. So we were like 2 weeks before the 9/11, stuff. And man, it was so sad because it was like, man, it was so heartbreaking to see that on the news. I mean, I think I was late for work that day. I'm like, what? And I was transferring from one area to another. I was actually even like in my organization at work, we have different places, different offices. I was moving from one office to another, pretty much leaving one department, going to another. And I was finishing up everything there. And I had to let them know I was going to be late. And I'm not usually a late person. I have a really good stellar record at work regarding attendance. But that really hurt my soul to know that she passed and then to find out all the gory details. Oh, I mean, I really hope that she didn't suffer, but from the sounds of it, sounds like she did. But it was just so heartbreaking to hear that she was gone and almost everybody else on that plane. And then to hear that it really could have been prevented. And her choreographer friend, Fatima, she's a very popular choreographer. I don't know if she retired. She would probably be about 50 by now. Her and Glorianne were pretty much coming up around the same time. I think Glorianne is a little younger than Fatima Robinson. That's her name, Fatima Robinson. I haven't really seen or heard from her lately, but man. And then to see Dame Dash and his, you never want to see a grown man cry. You know what I'm saying? As hard as Dame was back then and still is, child, it was just so sad. And then the fume. Oh, clutching my pearls, child. But I don't want to make this a sad story. I just had to talk about it real quick. Big ups to Aaliyah. What's her middle name? Dana Houghton. Born January 17th. I forget the year. Let's see, in 2011, she was 22. So we'll see, 80. Whatever year it was, child. I don't feel like counting. And was that August 29th, 2011. 2001. Uh, mm, mm, mm. She was on her way to be the biggest R&B star, pop star, and then Beyonce came and took it over. Poor A. Marie, that's a whole nother tangent. But anyway. Okay, Beverly Hills. So, like I said, Kyle and Dorit still arguing, child. They going back and forth and back, like I said, like Aaliyah. And okay, so there's a lot of back and forth. So I'm gonna tell it like I need to tell it. And I got my notes, so I wrote everything down. You know, I ain't forgot. So I'm just gonna say it how I wrote it. So pretty much Kyle and Dorit still arguing, going back and forth. And Dorit is hurt that Kyle does tit for tat. Like Kyle says she was hurt, and it's just so trivial and immature, if you ask me, because Dorit made according to Dorit, but Kyle looking at it differently. They were on I think BravoCon or something, and they were on no. First it was Dorit on Watch What Happens Live, where she said her, meaning Kyle and Morgan, were get to know each other a lot more and kind of push Dorit aside. And then another thing Kyle mentioned was, and Kyle was hurt by that. Okay. Instead of talking to Dorit, she just iced her out, according to Dorit. Another thing was at BravoCon last year, 2023, child, there was a game that they were playing to where Dorit had to rate the Hilton sisters. And at the same moment, Kyle spilled a drink on Dorit. So Dorit said, well, I'm going to have to say Kyle is last. And it was a joke. Ha, ha, ha. Kyle was laughing too, but Kyle is good at that. She ain't really showing her emotions at the time. And then Kyle said, and Kathy's first, kind of like, just being funny with it and everything. And Kyle really took that to heart. And Dorit was like, you are just doing too much. I was joking. And they just kept going back and forth about how, Dorit feels like Kyle isn't being forthright. She's being manipulative and just making matters worse, making mountains out of molehills, and not really living in the moment and treating Dorit as Dorit should be treated. In a way, it sounds like Dorit may be projecting a little bit based off of her current situation with her husband. Because later on in the episode, she just seems so angry. Like like both Dorit and Kyle are so much alike. But just to say, both of them are putting 20 on 10, I think. And they need to calm it down because it's really not that deep. But I don't know if this is rich people's problems, because I'm poor. I don't have I ain't got no money because I don't even live over there. So, I'm like, they just seem so shallow with how they feel. Like probably because I'm more in tune with more life lessons and knowing more hardships, and this argument that somebody said something and then you ice them out, but what they said wasn't even that deep to ice them out. To me, it just seems so trivial. That's why I'm like, is this rich people's issues? They have nothing else to do but worry about trivial things that I think they're trivial. Anyway, I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be wrong. This is how they feel. So we always give people credence to how they feel. So then so Kyle walks out while Dorit is talking. So that's that's how that went. And then Kyle runs into Garcelle. And Garcelle was like, girl, what happened? You know how we do. Like I said in the previous review, episode 1, they all gave Dorit and Kyle their space to talk, but everybody looking from wherever they were. Everybody went their own separate way. 2 went over here, 2 went over here, 3 went over there. And they're looking from a distance like, girl, you see what they're talking about? Hands moving and, necks gyrating. mainly Dorit. Kyle is just looking dumbfounded and like Bambi, caught in the crossfire. And then, so like I said, Garcelle meets Kyle as she's waiting for her transportation back home. And Kyle is just like, Dorit is just, she just wants to keep talking and won't listen. Garcelle's like, yeah, I know. Child, I think that's why I really hope Garcelle and Dorit can really mend fences. Anywho, I really think that Garcelle don't see it for Dorit, and that's that on that. But anywho, so then Dorit is going out and she meets up with Erika, and she's just like, Kyle is just faking, and she really needs to get it together. I'm sick and tired of her shit. And that's that. Timid. Yeah, Dorit said she's sick and tired of Kyle's shit. She said it when they was arguing, and she said it again. And then in her confessional, she said it and then gave the middle finger. Like, now we all know the middle finger says fuck you. So I hope she don't mean fuck you. But like I said, doing that's real aggressive. Yes, I'm using the word aggressive. Because it is. That's real aggressive, Dorit. And girl, calm down. But she said it's been going on for a while, but that's your fault for letting it go on. What else, child? Oh, so after all that's done, the next day we got Bose, and we're more so introduced to her. Well, actually, Bose was there with Erika, so Bose heard it because her and Dorit had a moment earlier. But next we see Bozoma. I'm not even gonna say all the names that she said, but her married last name is St. John. Her husband fell ill towards their separation, so they got back together. And then he passed, and they have a daughter who was 15. He passed when she was about 4. So he's been gone for about 10, 11, maybe 12 years by now. And pretty much she is retired from the C-suite for 25 years of C-suite. If you know, C-suite means CEO, CMO. I think her last C-suite job was CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, CIO. All that's the C-suite. People in charge. You know what I'm saying? And various top companies. I believe I heard Netflix, Uber, Endeavor, and pretty much now she's doing her own thing. Instead of her receiving emails, she says she's sending them. I know that's right. I think she lives in Encino, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, her house is beautiful, and now she does like inspirational TED Talks. Like, I'm gonna say this. Well, she has done TED Talks, but now her business more so is giving people something to aspire to. People pay to come hear her talk in different locations all over wherever she goes. And they're always inspirational and having people meet their potential or discover their potential and then discover more about themselves. And good for her. And of course, she's getting paid because, she got an assistant. She got all kinds of stuff. Like I said, she has a 15-year-old daughter, real beautiful girl. And her husband was a white man, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a dynamic. And she looks great. She is doing her thing. And she's a healthy woman. And she's just moving on in life. Didn't say she got a man. I mean, she's I guess single and loving it. They didn't really get into all that. So that's pretty much it. So she welcomes, what was going on that time? Well, that was pretty much it for that. Sutton and Kyle meet up. Sutton urges her to file because all the things that she knows about her experience and how things go during a divorce, it's better that Kyle files before he does. And considering what both of them bring to the table, more so her than him, it's best that, she really has her head on straight because folks change during a divorce. Child. Girl. But then they start talking about Dorit a little bit, and Kyle says that Dorit is oblivious to feelings of others and it's really about herself. Ain't that what Garcelle said when they were arguing or discussing race and being oblivious to the what do they call them, microaggressions that white people do, or white adjacent people do, because they're so used to living in that way. It's offensive towards other people that are generally disenfranchised by them. So that's just something that is all. Now, of course, it's not a racism thing, but the whole point of being oblivious to other people's feelings is what Kyle mentioned, which is synonymous with what Garcelle said. Interesting. So back to Bozeman, right? So you know how they go back and forth. Bozeman hosts Erika and Dorit. And then, since Bozeman heard a little bit about Dorit, she asked Dorit how she's doing. And pretty much she said, Kyle is grasping at straws. Kyle says Dorit has to lie in it, meaning since Dorit, now mind you, remember they're going back and forth. Kyle is with Sutton, and then Bose is with Erika and Dorit. And so Kyle is grasping at straws. And so Kyle says Dorit has to lie in it, meaning she's gonna, I'm gonna leave her where she at, because she is way too aggressive for me. She was being mean and I didn't like it. So that's what she means by she can lie in it for the moment. She can stir in her own juice, because I don't want no parts. Dorit says Kyle has a set of rules for her and a set of rules for others, and she doesn't appreciate it. She also was asked about reconciliation, and she paused. Like, dang, it's that deep, huh? Then next we see Sutton host Kyle and Kathy and Erika, and Avi is there. Avi's skinny. Was it the oh? I don't know, but child, I didn't even recognize Avi. I said, look at him. So they getting all this stuff together because they're gonna go cheer Kyle up. So they get in their black car and they pretend to be Amazon because they wanted to surprise her at her door. First of all, you mean tell me Kyle don't have cameras? That's a security risk. Now the other people know she don't have cameras at her gate. And I hope I didn't start no fire, but child, I got cameras and I'm broke. I'm poor compared to her. I'm just saying, I got cameras. Girl, if you don't get you a camera or 8 and slam it on the perimeter, girl, I wish And their house was broken into before. I think it was the one before where they are now. But still, so you want to move and not get cameras. Where was our child? Now I'm a little perturbed. Yeah, so Kathy pretends to be Amazon, and I don't know why she got out of the black car outside of the gate with no cameras holding the package, when she could have just went out there and left the box package that they brought of goodies in the car. I don't know. I just noticed that, like, what? Why is she out there with she can't see you? And if she does see you, she gonna know you ain't Amazon. So anyway, so Kyle lets them in, and a surprise, they're at her front. See, again, at her front door. So that could have been. And wait, another thing, another security breach. So now we know Kyle gets Amazon delivered a lot. So now the next part, Kyle, if you're listening, watching and listening, girl, your sister Kathy just put you on a red alert. Girl, you need a whole new security system. Because what I'm saying, other folks is gonna hear, possibly some, unscrupulous people. Hopefully not, but you never know. You need a better security system, because if they can come in like that and come to your front door without you knowing exactly who's coming, didn't even see the vehicle. First of all, they came in a black Uber, Escalade, whatever the big bodies are. And you mean tell me you couldn't look out your door, whatever, and see that there was no Amazon truck? Girl, and it's just you there, and you saying ain't no man there to protect you. You probably ain't got no weapons of mass destruction. Them dogs ain't gonna do nothing but get get tossed aside. Oh Lord, no. Girl. I hope this is a lesson learned after this episode was aired by now. Somebody then, if you're not watching, listen, watching, or anybody who knows Kyle, please let her know I said to get a whole new system, including cameras, because you just been exposed, child. Oh my God, where was all my notes? Okay, so they make pizza, and who got PJ's form? Was it Kathy or Sutton? Somebody. They in these like caftan robes, and that's what they call pajamas. Then nobody change clothes, and then they just put it on wrapped around their clothes. Anyway, so they're just having a good time making pizza and whatnot and talking, and pretty much all three of them, Sutton, Kathy, and Erika, telling her to prepare. And pretty much Sutton and Kathy telling her, girl, listen, you got a whole lot to protect. So I suggest you do it right fast, quick, fast, in a hurry. And Erika was like, girl, if I had what you had, I protected too. And then so her and Sutton kind of go back and forth. Erika's like, no, you get what you get. And then the production flash that, Sutton gets $350,000 a month. Child, I think my house cost less than that when I purchased it back in 2017. Girl, Sutton. Woo, child. Anyway, I ain't even gonna calculate how much that is. Anyway, and then what to add insult to injury, Kyle tells the ladies, or she told Sutton, then they bring it up, how Mauricio replaced Kyle's picture on his desk in their house with the picture of him and that girl from Dancing with the Stars. I would have broke all that up and burned the picture in the sink and put my picture back. I wish you would put a picture of another woman and this. I know you fucking lying. I wish, girl. First, you ain't got no security. Now you're allowing other pictures of other women in the house. What? I hope that was a miss. I hope that wasn't true, but he actually did for sure take her picture down out of the office. First of all, he don't even live there no more. It'd be so many pictures of me up in that house that I live in. Child, please. What else happened, child? That was it for them. Everybody went home and she closed up the doors to his office and everything. And anyway, that was that on that. So next we got PK and Dorit having dinner, child. That was a little cute. They had pleasant greetings. They were acting civil because apparently behind closed doors, they are yelling and screaming and calling each other names. Dorit pretty much said first it started out with just disrespectful conversation. Next they cursed at each other. Next thing you know, they cursed each other out and go to hell and F you and all of that and the third. I'm like, oh, see, that's what it do, girl. And you know what else is going on? And no wonder they ain't fucking. I'm just saying. Look, we growing over here because ain't no kids over here, so things don't get said. But child, let me make sure I write this right. PK says that they disrespect each other, and it's a shame that it's happening, and that they don't. What did I say? It seems like they don't like each other. He said he stopped drinking and he gained some clarity. Oh, pretty much. He made the changes that she asked, especially regarding the drinking, and she didn't change from what he asked of her. And pretty much that triggered him to anger. They talk nasty to each other, like I said. He says there's built up frustrations. I would imagine so if y'all ain't fucking. And pretty much she made him feel less than while he's bringing her into the fold of wealth. He didn't say wealth, but I kind of, gauged it from him saying how he's doing this, he's doing that, he's having these successes, those successes, and he's bringing her in. At the same time, she's treating him like shit. That, to me, that's gold digger behavior, because gold diggers don't care about nobody but themselves. And she had 2 kids, and the number one thing about gold diggers is that they're gonna have 2 kids. She's gonna enjoy that life of luxury and treat him however she want to treat him, like a gold digger would. I'm just saying, this is how I see gold diggers, and it screams that Dorit fits the mold. She can say whatever she wants. Maybe she did fall in love after the fact, but the fact that PK looks good now that he lost 50 pounds probably. Sometimes weight will just make you look like you looking, but he's looking greater now, and pretty much he let her know. Okay, y'all sitting down for this part. Okay, so pretty much she said, well, pretty much she was listening to him and not really adding much, but she said, well, we talk right now 5 times a day. He said, well, that won't be happening anymore. And she's like, huh? What? She was looking like, what's going on? He said, we need to give each other space, and we need to just figure things out. And pretty much he was like, so are you done with your dinner? Oh, she was just shocked. Face, he cracked her face. It was laying on the table, child, next to that kale salad and that Wagyu tartare that he had. Ooh, now that must mean it was bleeding. Ooh. Now I like a good Wagyu, but I like mine medium well. Ooh, child, I had some last week. It was so good. But yeah, so pretty much he broke her face at the restaurant, and that's pretty much it. That we didn't hear nothing left from her but a kiss on the cheek. He walked her to her black car, and he got in his, I think, Jaguar, whatever, cute little green car, and they left separately, just like they got there separately. Child, that was it. PK broke her down. He ready to go. He's sick and tired of her ish. And I think he realized it. Child, that was a humdinger for me. But yeah, y'all, that was Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 2. Can't wait for episode 3. Woo-wee. Yeah, y'all. So that was it. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. And I'll catch you next time. And guess what's coming up next? New York City. All right, then. Bye. All day.